Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It is November 11th, and happy Veterans Day to everybody. So thank you to all of our veterans, honoring you, and we just appreciate you. If you don't mind, if you are a veteran, if you don't mind throwing what branch you are in the comments. And I say are because most people are never not what they were in the military. So throw what branch you were in the comments and let us know so that we can throw your name up and honor you. And thank you in person here on the live. What else we got tonight, Jeff? How are you?
I'm good. So several weeks ago I told you I was going to order animal balloons.
Yes.
And I ordered them, and so I made a few things tonight.
Alrighty.
First thing is I made this could actually be a couple things. This could be a bow in your hair. But I'm going to make it. I made it into a bow tie.
Are you going to strangle yourself?
Yeah, it's a little tight. I'm not going to leave it on forever. And then I got a headband. And look, I can do about four things. So do you want a turtle, a dog, a sword, or a giraffe?
A giraffe is my favorite animal. So
okay, I'm gonna do a giraffe. All right. So this is actually a magic one because this one can be two things. It can be a dog or a giraffe. I hate when they pop. All right, so here it is. It's twofold. Here it is as a wiener dog.
Okay.
All right. And then all we have to do is switch a couple things around. We switch that. And we switch that. And now it's a giraffe.
You have talent, my friend.
Huh? How about that?
Did you do this at like Little Cece's Pizza and go around and make money and stuff?
No, well, I did make money. When I was 14 to 16, I was a clown and I did kids' birthday parties and I did magic too.
Okay.
And look, the only other thing I can do is here's a sword. See, it's a sword.
That was quick.
And then I think I can do a turtle. I mean, this one is a little bit more difficult. You're gonna do a turtle's better if you have a Sharpie.
Yep. Robert Gansky says, I know who I am hiring for my grandkids' party.
All right, so and I blew this one up way too much to be a turtle, so okay, so I'm gonna put that down there. So then you tie off, and then you take the tail here and you shove it up the turtle's butt.
All right, now we're getting a little graphic here.
And so now there's the turtle.
All right.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Nice. Good job, buddy. I'm proud of you.
Do you want me to bring the giraffe tomorrow? I'll bring it to you at the office.
Yeah, bring it to me. I'm
Okay.
going to put it up and see how long it lasts, and then we'll let everybody know.
I can take this off before I pass out.
I know you were getting a little red in the face.
Yeah, I might tie that a little bit too tight. Although that would be good video if I was to pass out on camera. That'd be cool.
Right. All right. So we got Joe on U.S. Marine Corps from 79 to 87. Hoorah! Is that
Thank you, Joe? Yes, sir. I think that's right.
Okay. We got at least one more here. U.S. Air Force, Vic, from 76 to 80. Thank you, Vic. All right. Those are the only two I see. Joy and Brian from Long Island. Thank you all who served. Yes, I agree. Jackie said thank you all who served earlier. Wes and Heidi are on from Connecticut. Hashtag Horizons. Mike Turco, the club Turco Igloo. Borrowing in at Tidewater, turning on the heat and the fireplace. He got both going.
I had the fireplace going tonight, Mike.
Yeah. So I'm going to share the weather since he brought up the weather. So there were actually snowflakes in parts of Horry County last night. Small batch of very light snow showers are grazing through North Georgetown County, moving towards the coast. Don't be surprised if you see some snowflakes. All right, so I saw a video of the Top Golf at Myrtle Beach had snow. I saw Pawleys Island, Litchfield. Obviously, no accumulation happened, but pretty rare for November. And as you can see, today was only a high of 50. There was actually a freeze warning last night. And maybe tonight too, but it only says 34 here. So
yeah, it's not as cold tonight as it was last night.
Yeah. And then tomorrow is going to be 66 with a low of 41, 71, 71, 76 on Saturday, 77 on Sunday. So this was short-lived. It was a one-day event.
Yeah, we're going to be back in the 70s here this week, right?
Yeah. So pretty.
I did my dishwasher trick last night. It was only below freezing for like 4 hours overnight. So I set my dishwasher to turn on at 4 a.m. to run. And I figured that would cycle water through the system. So, and it takes a couple hours to run a dish load through. So that was, water running in the house during those cold hours. But I didn't hear of anybody freezing last night. It was only cold for a few hours.
Yeah. Well, actually, I did hear in Cane Bay, there were 3 posts about people had to shut off their water. Because water was running out of the house. So, maybe it was just a little bit colder over here.
Yeah, maybe.
Dan and Judy are on from Chesterfield, Michigan. Thank you for your service to our veterans. Yes. John and Justine now in Summerwind. I hope you guys love your new house on that beautiful lot that you have there.
I bet it was windy overnight last night over there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was windy here, and I have the trees blocking behind me.
Yeah.
And we had some pillows go into the pool and stuff.
I thought it was raining real hard, and I went outside and realized it was the wind, which I felt bad because I forgot to tell Mama Gregg, or I didn't tell Mama Gregg that it was going to be windy last night. And she's got, 90 to 100 decorations of some kind out on the back porch at any given time. So if you see a stray pillow over in Del Webb next, and just take it back to Mom's house, I'm pretty sure it's hers.
Hi, all. Joy and Brian from Long Island. Thank you all who served. Yes. Thank you. Tony and Lori officially of Del Webb Nexton. Yay.
We drove by your house the other day because we saw on Facebook.
I'm an idiot. That's why.
Yeah. Mark's an idiot. So he sees on Facebook a house with a moving van, on a street. And so he's like, oh, hey, Tony and Lori are here. Let's go over and say hi. So we drive all the way over to the house, and there's nothing there. And so I'm like, show me the picture. And there was like a bright red tree in front of the house in the picture. I'm like, no, that's their moving van in New York. So we were there 2 days before you were, I think.
Yeah, and you say drive all the way over there. We were in the neighborhood. I mean, it wasn't like we drove 20 miles here, okay?
Listen, why you should have shut up. It sounded really good. We drove in from Ridgeville to go see you guys, and we were almost out of the neighborhood when we realized that we were going to head over. So we were almost out the gates.
Another Del Weber Ken is on. Thank you for the ones that served our great country. Yes, thank you. The real Teddy left Charleston on Sunday, came back to Ohio to snow. Well, you need to turn around and come back.
Yeah, my buddy Doug called me from Michigan and said it was snowing up there. He was. Did you say he was a little angry? He was. He might have been crying. He called me on Sunday. He's like, oh, I'm firing up the snowblower.
He does talk like that sometimes.
Yeah, actually, that's not even me acting like that's just how he talks.
Yeah. Joe and Rose are on. Final walkthrough tomorrow and Horizons at Summers Corner. Thank you, Robin. Robin is awesome. Closing on Thursday. That's awesome. 30 degrees here in Pocono Lake, Pennsylvania, but real feel is 16 degrees. And we have a few inches of snow on the ground. What are you still doing there?
Poconos is no joke. It's that area. They get some real snow.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe and Rose, we heard April as the new date for the amenity center being complete. Have you heard anything different over there?
Oh yeah, good point. All right, where am I? Framing starts on our house next week and homecoming. Can't wait to be down there year round. Yes, homecoming is a great neighborhood. Tony says you will need to come back. We will definitely come back.
Actually, tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
I'll be across the street.
You'll be over there for the walkthrough, right?
Yeah, hold on. Let me look at my schedule. I'll tell you what time I'm going to be there tomorrow.
Rose says no, we haven't heard anything.
It's somewhere here. I'll be over there at 9:00 tomorrow.
You'll have to go.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Rose says she hasn't heard anything different. So April it is for Summers Corner.
Yeah.
All right. So at the end of last week, we talked a little bit about Thanksgiving meals for some school kids. And we got that rolling this week. I don't know if you haven't followed our Facebook. We put out a video that looks kind of like that on the left. And so far, we've already got $1,680 raised so far. So we're 60% to our goal. That is awesome. And most of you on here have donated something. I got all the names here. Thanking everybody for donating. All of these people have already donated just from our Facebook post. And we did put it on YouTube on a short as well. So we really appreciate it. A local school came to us. They had over 30 families on a list saying, hey, we need help for Thanksgiving meals. Can you please, help us? And so they came to us and said, I overheard that they said, how do we decide who gets fed and who doesn't? And so that really hurt us to hear that. And so that's why we put out that video. We're gonna make it no matter what to the 2,800 for sure. $80 feeds a family. If you want to donate, the Venmo is on the screen there. You can give $5, you can give $20, you can give nothing, you can give a full meal for $80. So, but all of these people already have donated, and I can't tell you how much that helps us. And
super awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And listen, guys, I don't want to dissuade you from giving, but we'll make sure we get there. Mark, if whatever we don't cover, Mark and I are going to cover. So it's a done deal. But Mark, put back on camera. I want to do my impersonation of you coming to my office again. Here's how Mark comes in my office. He's like, "Hey Jeff, I found out about a school, and there's 35 families that don't have enough money for Thanksgiving dinner." I'm like, okay, just go do whatever it is you do. We'll take care of it. But it wasn't even a question. He's like, hey, Jeff, I heard that 35 families need money for Thanksgiving. And they gave me that look. It was clear what that look meant.
It was kind of like that. I do have to
I'm
admit.
not exact. Listen, we all know I'm capable of exaggerating to make a story better. I'm not exaggerating on that one.
Yeah, that was funny. So yeah, if you want to donate or you feel led to donate, please do. Everything is appreciated, and we can't wait to see these people. Well, we won't see them, but the school to be able to provide for these people is just awesome. So thank you for sure.
Fun.
What else do I got tonight? Oh, you want to talk about the new homes thing, Jeff? You don't
tell me what I'm supposed to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. So new homes are.
By the way, we may have somebody coming on later in the show. By the way.
Oh yeah.
From
Progring.
Yeah. If you've ever had an interest in getting artificial turf in your yard or a putting green or any of that kind of stuff, we might have a guy jumping on here live a little bit later in the show. So stay tuned for that. All right. New homes. What am I talking about? Tell me. I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah. So new homes, back in end of August, they put out this article, Realtor.com did. And actually new homes are a little bit cheaper than previously owned homes. And that is still true today, I believe, because of all the incentives. And even a lot of the prices are cheaper. We had somebody come in today kind of talking about that. And today's instance, they were a little bit higher than an existing home. But we are comparing new to existing because of some of the great deals, right?
And this is nationally.
Yeah.
This graph. So think about that for Charleston and Summerville, where there's such a huge amount of new homes being built. They're taking into account Iowa, where there's no new construction and there's all resales. So I think if this is this way in the country, it's even more elevated here, especially in Summerville.
Yeah, for sure. So if you are looking and comparing, you're doing the right thing. Definitely look at if you're going to be financing. Today's person was really looking at cash, so it made the deal a little bit different. But if you're financing, we've talked about this the last couple weeks. Some of the rates are even have a 1 in front of the number for the first year or two, and all kinds of buy downs.
So one was doing a 3-2-1 on top of a 5-year 30. So year one was 199.
You mean
a 30-year 5?
30-year 5. Okay.
Yeah. So year one was 199, then 299, then 399, and then 499 for the next 27 years, whatever we're at. I think I did that math pretty quick.
Yeah, that was good.
And we actually met with a builder today over in Nexton, and this was just another builder that said, bring us an offer on those houses. So even builders that we have never been able to do that before, we've been able to go to them and actually make an offer. If you listened to us a year ago, we very often said, if the house is listed at $489,900, that's the price. It's really not up for discussion. That's not necessarily the case right now, especially until the end of the year. Well,
and the especially with the spec homes, if they're sitting, you know that some of them are sitting, like we saw today with that builder. And they're not sitting on horrible lots where, they're backed up to power lines and things like that. These are good pond lots and wood lots and, corner lots even on some of these, like that one that we have a video coming out Friday I moved that video up, by the way. I forgot to get your approval on that, but I moved up that video for the New Leaf home where it had that huge backyard.
Oh man, you guys got to see this house on Friday. This is a cool house. It's New Leaf, and it's got a casita so it's got a separate outbuilding, and it's a 2-bedroom, 2-suite main house with a really big living room, kitchen, open concept thing going on. And then on each side of the house, there was a full bedroom suite. One of them was definitely nicer than the other. There was definitely the primary. But then it also had, and it was on, I would venture to say, top 2% of the biggest lots that we've seen in Nexton.
Yeah.
Because just the way it laid. And the casita had a full kitchen, living room kind of area combo, and then a full bedroom and bath that was outside in the yard. So you could do a whole mother-in-law suite. That makes no sense to me. I don't like my mother-in-law. But if you did like your mother-in-law, you could do that. But you could also use that as rental income. Mark, what do you think that casita would pull? That casita would pull close to $1,000 a month, right?
I would think so. 900 to 1,000. That would pay maybe a 30-year mortgage, maybe.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because the home was only $599 in Nexton.
And this, I felt like Mark and I both felt. I think we thought this was about $100,000 off from where it should be, and the reason is because somebody had this home under contract, and they ended up having a home to sell contingency that the builder accepted, and they didn't sell their home in time. And so it came back to the market. So I think it is a phenomenal deal. And if you ever wanted a ranch home and the 2-bedroom was good for you and you wanted to put a pool in your yard, this house is a home run.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We got a few questions that came up, or comments, I should say. Michaela said, that's amazing. Awesome work. John and Vicky, you're on from Del Webb Nexton. How you guys doing? Dan and Judy, blessed to be a blessing. Yes, thank you so much for giving. We appreciate it. Okay. Hey, guys, I noticed that some resales are purchased within a year or two by the current owner. Any reason from the sellers that you're hearing why the quick sale? I noticed that some resales are purchased within a year or two by the current owner.
Yeah, I think she's asking why somebody would buy and then sell within a year or two.
Okay.
Just the high crime area. People are getting killed everywhere, and they just feel like they're
not true.
And so they want to get out of here before they end up getting shot. Where
is the mute button on this guy? That is not true. No.
We have found mostly that a lot of obviously we do a lot of work in the 55 plus space. It's just over half of our business. So half of our business almost is non-55, and over half is over 55 plus. On the 55 space, the ones that we see are vast majority of them they want to go be around family, around grandkids. Yeah. I would say 80% of them are that.
And then we have some military here that move.
Yeah.
They get stationed here, and then 2 or 3 years later, they move out. Some of those are turned into rentals, while others they want to sell and be able to buy in the new location that they're going to. But as Jeff said, I would say 70% of what I know is family for sure.
Yeah, for instance, we just met with somebody to sell their house. Is Talisha? Come on. We just met with somebody to talk about selling their house, and she was going up north to go be around family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually excited when we go to list that house. That's a really pretty house. Yeah, she did the whole 4-season room in the back it's backed up to woods, and did the mini split so the room is all air conditioned and heated. That was one. It's got the upstairs storage. You can't have it yet. It's not listed for sale yet. We don't even know if she's definitely leaving, but that'll probably be next year. But I could move into that house over at Del Webb there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Backed up to the woods and that whole back area she had, it was beautiful.
Would you move there if they don't put in the restaurant and bar, though?
I would, yeah, because it's golf cartable to so much.
Yeah.
Hey, have you been over the pool to see if they've done anything yet? They were talking about the end of the pool season, starting that bar and grill, and we haven't been over there to see.
November they were going to start, so I haven't seen anything yet. But we're in November now, so I would imagine before the end of this month, something will start.
I wonder if those workers are going to be like, "Why is that drone flying over all the time, taking video of us?"
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who would fly a drone.
I don't know who would do that.
All right, I got some stats. Let's hit the weekly stats. So last week was good buying activity for this time of year. We did see a drop down 27 homes to 248 under contract. 189 of those were single-family homes. Even though we dropped the numbers, the median went up last week. And remember, this is just what went under contract last week. This isn't what closed or anything. And we figure if we provide you with what went under contract, that is about as accurate of numbers that we can provide because it's so current. So it went up $9 a square foot, $37,000 on the median price. Condos as high as $3 million. They actually went up 53 total townhomes and condos, and 16 were in the 300 to 499 is where we usually see the most of them. Mortgage rates did not change at all from last week. Didn't go up, didn't go down. Still at the 6.34 for a 30-year fix and 6.08 for a VA. That's as of today's numbers when I looked earlier. Active homes on the market actually went down about 142 homes. We're down to just under 5,200 homes on the market, where before we were plus 142 more.
I think the active homes going down was our doing. We had a pretty busy month last month.
Yeah, we had 17 homes close in October last month, so that's a good month. We appreciate everybody's support and trust and all of that. We just did a little post on that today. Area meetings really didn't change much. Moncks Corner went down a little bit as far as the number. We had over 50 last week. They were at 42 this week. But every other the major areas were pretty much the same, with the exception of Mount Pleasant being at 1.05 million on the median price, where last week they were about 1.3 million. That seems to swing. That's an average swing though. So
hey, that single family homes under contract 550 median went up 37,000, and the price per square foot went up $9 a square foot. That is shocking to me. Yeah.
Prices are not going down. Like,
I guess you have to, say, listen, you can't take 1 week. That's not an indicator. You need to see steady, and it averages out much more over a month. But this with all the mayhem going on in the world, federal shutdown that may soon be ending, I hope, and the tariffs and all, and the interest rates and the mortgages and all that, and we are still just a super healthy market here.
Yeah. All right. So with that, we'll do our question of the week. How many single family homes that went under contract last week were over $1 million? So jump in the comments. Let us know what your answer is. Out of the 189, how many of those were over $1 million? And I was surprised, since the number went down so much, what this answer was. So out of 189, how many of those were over 1 million? And we've already got a few answers. Robert Gansky says 45.
Serious thought. I'm going to go with my very first thought tonight.
Michaela says 38.
Me and Michaela are on.
Jeff says 38. Look at you guys matching.
That was the first thing I came up with, was 38.
2. Dan and Judy say 39. Rose is sometimes close, 44. 36. Jackie 35. All right. Any other answers before I throw up the actual number? 36 was the number.
Oh, Michaela and I were pretty close.
Yeah, you guys were close.
Oh, but no, Albon got it.
Yep. That's our winner right there. And Jackie was one off at 35.
Oh, go back. I want to see the picture of the puppies in the thing. Oh. Albon. Oh, look at the little puppies. Look at the one's ears going straight up in the ear like that.
And Vic said 37. He was the only one off, too.
You're in the ballpark.
Good job. Good job, y'all. All right, we got a question.
I think I won. I was close.
Hey, Mark and Jeff, question 55 plus. What can you do and what can't you do as far as HOA rules?
Yeah. So you cannot own a giraffe. You cannot sacrifice virgins on an altar at the amenity center. You can. It really, it's nothing crazy, really. So of the things that people ask, I would say the most about, there are neighborhoods that you could do a pool, and there's neighborhoods you can't do a pool.
Yep.
You typically any type of like the kitchens out back, the pergolas, the adding on things like that. Most of those are allowed. You just have to ask permission. You could put a palm tree in your yard. You just got to ask for permission. The don't do's, some of them have no street parking overnight, but there's not a lot of those. Obviously they're there for a good reason. Like your neighbor can't open a tire repair shop next door. You would have to. My mother got. It was not a big deal. She got a letter one time that she really likes to decorate for holidays. She got a note over in Del Webb that said, "Hey, 64 things in the front porch is a little excessive," or whatever it was. So it's not anything too intrusive. Mark, do you kind of agree with me? Oh, like your grass has to be cut if your grass is too high. I want that to be the case.
Yeah. So 55 plus, most of them will cut it for you.
Yeah.
And then fences. So some neighborhoods will allow fences, some don't. So like Cane Bay Del Webb does not allow fences, and then others will have certain types of fences. Like Four Seasons, I think, only allows the aluminum wrought iron looking fence, with the pickets and all of that, where others will allow wood and all of that. They asked, can you wash your car in the driveway? I haven't seen that as an issue at all, right?
You can wash your car in the driveway, and you can also wash my car in your driveway. Either one of those is acceptable.
As long as it's not a business, right?
Yeah. No mobile detailing business, but yeah.
But yeah, those I think are the major things. They just don't want you running a car repair shop, next door to somebody that doesn't want that. I can't think of anything crazy in any of the 55 plus.
Yeah, I've never lived in an HOA before I moved here. Up in Pittsburgh, I didn't have any, and I was a little concerned about two things: the HOA being, intrusive into my life, and I have not found that to be the case one bit. And then I was also concerned about the prices of the HOAs going up significantly on a fairly regular basis. And Mark and I have not seen that be the case in this market whatsoever either.
Right. Well, Jeff, we're going to move on. We got a special guest joined here. And a couple of weeks ago, we did a podcast with Brian from ProGreen. And we put it on our Facebook channel. So make sure you go check out that for all the answers about turf and artificial grass. And he's going to come on and chat a little bit with us more about that and answer any of your questions about artificial grass. And we were over at a house today that I'm wondering if his company put it in. So let's make sure we ask him that before.
Yeah, he might. He would know probably if it was his.
All right. So here is Brian. How you doing, Brian?
Yeah, Brian.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Doing well. Thanks for having me again.
Mark, I was thinking about Brian today as I was driving around and I was thinking about 55 pluses. And, if people have dogs and they want a fence in their backyard, they can do that in these 55 pluses. But in all but one of them, once you fence in the backyard, you have to mow the grass back there. So I want to start right off with that, Brian, since we've got so many people on the channel right now that are 55 plus people in Del Webb and so on. You would be able to do a turf in just the backyard since it's fenced in, and then they would still mow the front of the yard. Because I know you've done them over at Horizons, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Most of our residential installs are backyards inside the fence, which is a lot of HOAs allow. Front yards, a little bit different story. Most of them want to be consistent with natural grass. They all look the same, especially going into this time of the year where things are going to start turning brown with natural grass. So, yeah, that's a big thing. And we'd prefer that, being the turf's fenced in. Just prevents, if they're going to be mowing behind your property, that they're not coming up onto the turf and obviously causing problems.
Oh, yeah.
No need to mow to our
because
product.
they all have green space back there behind the fences in these neighborhoods. So the commercial mowers would be buzzing right by your fence there.
That's correct. Yes, we've done several in horizons that obviously are fenced in, or they do some like living landscapes as kind of a buffer. So creating some landscape beds between the natural grass and then synthetics also an option.
What
Okay.
So did you guys do the putting green over at Saucy Burbank and Nexton by chance? Because we were over there today, and that was pretty cool. It was behind one of their model homes.
We did a putting green. It was behind an amenity center and a pool.
Okay.
I'm trying to think the name of it. It is in Nexton. It's probably about a year and a half, but I don't recall that name.
Okay.
So it may not be ours.
No problem.
Y'all have seen Mark and I do videos on the pickle bar was yours, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir. We did do the pickle bar.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we also did the videos we've done over the pickle bar.
Yep, we did with the area outside of Hilo as well. There's a green space kind of outside that I'm sure they're doing, stretching and some exercises outside the gym as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I gotcha. I wonder if do they do the big roll?
I think you guys did this over at Horizons.
Yep, that's ours. That's in Horizons. So that's kind of like a golf cart pass going through there. We have some white bunkers. Those are turf bunkers. Those aren't actually sand bunkers, but gives you several different shots to play back and forth. There's a little bit of movement within each one of those greens.
Nice.
Now, Brian, I thought you'd probably. What's that, Brian? You have a question? You want to know who normally wins at the putting contest when Mark and I putt over there? Oh, that's a great question, Brian. Thanks for asking. Mark, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, you always win. You always win. All right. Now
is there any betting? Any betting? Any money on the line over there?
Yeah, he's muted for the rest of the night. No betting.
Unmute me. I'm gonna. That was rude. I got to learn how to mute you. That really ticks me off when you do that.
Yeah, that was a fun project. We got in with the land side of with Lennar really early into that neighborhood. I know the models were still under construction when we were working on that project, and they really kind of gave us autonomy just to do the design and come up with some configurations. They kind of gave us a blank space, so it's fun to do projects where the client can really just trust our expertise and design and let us do our thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Ken says I don't.
That.
Sorry, go ahead, Joe. I was just saying,
we were on that this past week. All right, I'm going to talk now. This is terrible. Well, you and I are off tonight. We never do this. We never talk over each.
I know. Can you not hear me or something?
No, I'm all confused because I'm surrounded by animals at the thing here. We were on that turf, and so that turf is, Mark. How long have those models been up? They've been up for like 4 years, right?
Yeah.
We were on that turf this week. It's gorgeous. It looks brand new. Like it is worn extremely well, and that turf is pretty well used. There was somebody over there golfing on it when Mark and I were doing a video this week.
Yeah, it's a durable product. I mean, you should easily get 15 years out of it. Being that it's wide open, full sun, I mean, it's getting all the exposure that really any turf could receive. Obviously, we have some really, really warm weather here, so I feel like our climate, and now it's cold again. Our climate changes frequently, so it's getting all of the elements any turf could hold up against. So.
Yeah.
So Ken was saying that in Del Webb, which, Brian, I think you came across this. They do not allow artificial turf in Del Webb Nexton. Is that right?
That's to my knowledge. I know there's some turf at the amenity center. I think there's a bocce court or something. But other than that, we've had several people ask. The only thing that I know of, we sold someone just a piece of turf that they used on their back patio, kind of as like a rug. It's not permitted or anything like that. So I guess there is turf in Del Webb Nexton, but not in a backyard setting. But I know we've had several people ask, even within the fence, in that same scenario where they'll stop doing maintenance, which obviously is fine. But that's something that maybe over the course of bylaws or people changing, or if they're able to vote in something like that, I would definitely see if, residents can get together. We'd be happy to help share information or answer any questions that the community may have that we can actually get in there and do some turf.
And so is that part of y'all's process when you want to make sure you have those approvals before you start anything? I'm assuming that's just part of your process. You have the homeowner get the HOA approval first.
Yes, but there's certain situations like Horizons, for instance. We have 4 different types of turf that we submitted early on to get in there and to have basically approved. So it speeds up the process. Obviously, the homeowner will still need to submit, the quote and the plan. Some will ask if there's a plat that they can provide and kind of where it is. Most of the time, if it is fenced in, it's pretty evident where the turf's going to go. But we can certainly help assist with that. Certain neighborhoods are just different with HOA. Some want, the homeowner to submit everything. Some of it we can, as a contractor, can submit as well. But we're certainly open to helping people get all of that information together to make the submittals.
Hey, Mark. So one of my biggest questions when him and I did the podcast was, and I'd like them to talk about it tonight, is how the puppy pee pee poo poo works with the turf. Because obviously, if somebody's backyard is fenced in, there's a high probability it's because of a dog. So can you talk through like how that works?
Absolutely. One thing I don't think we covered when I was on last was infill. Infill is typically a sand ballast that goes inside. It goes on top of the turf. So it's kind of the last step of our process. So once the turf's laid, once it's seamed, all the edges are secured, we put an infill, and that essentially gets the turf. It gets weighed on the turf. We usually use about 2 to 3 pounds a square foot of sand, and it gets it to lay flat. But important and a key thing, especially if you have pets, is to not use a silica sand, which could absorb some of the urine, which would lead to smell. So you'd want to we use a couple different antimicrobial products. Wonderfill is a product we use. It's acrylic coated silica, so it's not going to absorb anything. It's coated with like microband. It's safe for kids, dogs. It's not really going to go anywhere. It's not going to migrate within the turf. So it's not something you have to replenish, year after year. There might be some touch-ups just with migration from rainfall, but that is a key step. And once that product goes in the turf, there's no reversing it, right? If you put 2 pounds per square foot and you have 500 square feet, that's 1,000 pounds of sand on top of that turf. So it would take an extreme amount of time with the shop vacuum that stuff out. So it's important to ask during the installation process or before that, what type of infill to use. So, but yes, everything's going to flow through the turf. Our backing is 100% permeable. There's no punched holes. So the entire surface will drain. And that's obviously, key. We want to flush that stuff through the turf. Yep. There's a perfect photo of our profile backing. And that is a patenting backing that we offer with our turf products. That's just going to help get everything through the turf into the base material and then into the subsoil. So it'll help with smell and just an overall better product.
Could a dog go on a putting green?
It can. Most of our putting surface is not permeable. We usually surround the greens with some sort of landscape product as a fringe. for aesthetics,
Okay.
but also for drainage purposes. With putting greens, you don't want a lot of water undermining the green, which would cause potentially some uneven surfaces over time. So most of it we want to drain off and around the putting surface. So it's a little bit different scenario, but yes, if a dog did use the bathroom on the putting green, not the end of the world by any means. Obviously, these are built outdoors; they're going to get rainfall, so drainage we want to get away from the green itself. And that's another important step with putting greens. We've seen a lot over the years that we've replaced where people used regular silica sand on these greens, and at least in the southeast, we get a lot of rain, so moisture gets trapped in that sand, and then it'll lead to mold. So we've seen a lot of like low areas on a putting green really start to turn black. And you can clean it, but it's just going to continually do that over the lifespan of 15 years. So using again that same antimicrobial coated silica sand is key in putting greens, and that's all we install is Wonderfill in those.
Well, how do we get an invite to a picnic over at this house that you did? That is gorgeous.
Right? Is that a real sand bunker or is that a turf bunker there?
That looks like turf. Yeah, I'm 99% sure that's turf. It looks almost too perfect. We build, the white bunkers. We build sand bunkers. Obviously, anytime you have depression, you're creating a bowl, which is going to trap water. So drainage is key, whether you're doing either or. So we usually put a drainage box, pipe all that water out. Even with white sand, because it'll turn green pretty quick if it holds water.
Sure.
In that scenario.
Oh, I don't think I realized, Mark, that they actually do. I've only ever seen the kind of the fake sand bunkers. I didn't realize that they did the real sand. That was a possibility too.
Yeah, I saw the real sand at the Del Webb in North Myrtle Beach as one of their, amenities, and then I started seeing it on some of Brian's website here that somebody was actually hitting out of the sand. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they take a lot of maintenance, right? I mean, that's if you ask any golf course superintendent, they're going to tell you bunkers are the most maintenance heavy thing there is. So that's just something to consider. Also, they can potentially become a cat's litter box if you have some cats in the neighborhood. So take that in consideration. But also, if you're hitting out of them, that sand's going into the turf or onto the green. So it's something that you're going to have to get out of the turf. And so there is some maintenance with it. So it's just something to consider. But for those who want to practice that shot or have the space, and hopefully it's away from windows, away from houses, that type of stuff we can help with, design and whatnot. But something to consider, just location of those and kind of making sure that at least with my golf game that you're not going to hit it thin and it goes flying out of that bunker. So and then even with the fake turf bunkers, it's something that you can still chip out of. Obviously the reaction of the ball is not going to be the same as sand, but it will at least give you some more practice around the green to chip up on.
And obviously, like the putting green is really short. There's all kinds of different lengths that you guys have, and it's really what the client is looking for. Or do you make certain recommendations based on what's already there in the yard and everything?
So we can build two different types of putting greens. Most of what you were showing there, it's a short, like a half-inch pile. We still put sand in it, about 2 to 3 pounds. It's going to roll about a 9-10 on the stent meter. It's going to putt pretty true. And then if someone has some space, we can build a true sand-filled green that usually is about 1.25 inch pile. And then we put about 6 to 7 pounds of sand. And that'll hold a shot up to about 140, 150 yards.
Oh, wow.
So if you have the real estate, you want to build something like that you can actually build a tee box and hit shots into. Those greens are a little bit more price to them. They take a little bit more maintenance, but they'll give you an even truer putt. We can get those up well above 10 on the stem meter.
And what is the yearly bi-yearly maintenance of these? Do you guys have to come back often, or is this more of a one and done deal, or what's your thoughts on that?
So like the green that is in this photo, this is actually on Isle of Palms, in a gentleman's backyard that we did. You can see where he's kind of chipping there off the fringe. This is just a regular short pile green. Maintenance on these are pretty simple. Blowing it off. Usually after month 1 or month 2, once we get some rain, the sand really evens out. We may need to come in and just broom it one more time. But really, that's it. Blowing it off, it's pretty low maintenance. This time of the year where it's cold, it's going to play faster. Those fibers are cold. It's going to be a little bit stiffer. Summertime, those fibers are going to loosen up. It's going to be a little bit slower. But really, not a whole lot of maintenance on these at all. Now, if you use it and it gets a lot of foot traffic and it mats down, obviously it'll get fast, right? So we can come in there, re-broom it, get it to slow back down. So we've seen that, but you really need to be on it every day for probably a year or two before you would see that. Sand filled, taller pile, you're probably 2 times a year where we need to come in and roll it just to get the speed right and keep it right. You're essentially bending the top fiber, say the top 1/8 inch, in different directions. So it's like a bent style grass green. So it really just depends on use. The more you use it, the more you're going to have to maintain it.
Okay.
Mark, I have a question.
Go ahead.
All right. I think you're going to make fun of me for this, but this is actually a legitimate question. Do you have the ability to turn it into like a putt-putt course? Like a clown head, or you roll it in and it goes through the thing and it comes out. Like, do you guys have access to that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we're actually going to be building a short 9-hole course.
I knew it.
At our corporate office on Daniel Island here in the next couple months. It's going to have kind of like a pop stroke where we're not going to have clowns or windmills or anything like that, but we'll have like a small little tee box on each whole location. The whole area is about 3,000 square feet, so not a huge area by any means, but it's kind of just a dead space between kind of a courtyard of our building that some of our employees, some other employees in the building can have access to and putt around. But it'll be a great just spot for people if they need to take a phone call and get outside for a minute, take a fresh get some fresh air. It'll be a good spot for some entertainment as well. So. But
could we work on a special project together where if I was to design like my mother-in-law laying down on the green that we can putt into her mouth or something? I know we can come up with a solution.
I don't know if we can do that, but maybe we'll see.
We're right.
So, I'm sure everybody's wondering about cost. Obviously, it's 5 square foot, and how much work you have to do in the yard, but can you give a general idea? And then if somebody wants a quote, obviously we can connect you to them. But what's a general cost of, maybe a putting green?
Something like a Horizons, right, Mark?
Yeah.
Like a Horizons backyard is pretty much all about the same size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all based, it's all custom, right? It's all based on square footage and size. Obviously, the bigger you go, that square foot price comes down. Most of our putting projects start around $16 a square foot. And I would say 16 to 22 is a good average. But it really depends on, you start adding bunkers and then there's drainage. You're introducing another turf type. Some people want a first cut and a second cut in the fringe. So again, another turf, more cuts, more seaming. So it really depends. Sand-filled greens that I was talking about that are taller, those are going to run closer to $30 range. There's a lot of rolling involved with those, and it takes a special drum roller. It's usually about 10 to 12 hours, man hours of just constant rolling back and forth. So there's at least a day and a half of that. The brooming process is a little bit longer as well. So it's just more labor essentially, but but yeah, we offer free quotes to anywhere. We have sales staff all over South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and then we're on the West Coast and California and Colorado as well. But we'd be happy to help anyone with pricing and design. A lot of people incorporate a green in their backyard in their landscape space. Some people, like the one you showed on Isle of Palms, it's just a putting green. So we can do either or for sure.
Do you guys actually make the turf, or does you get it from somewhere else?
It's all made here in the U.S. We have 2 manufacturing facilities. So this is our product. We make the yarn, and then we actually tuft it. So we have 2 different manufacturing plants. So it's truly a U.S. made product,
Nice.
made and manufactured. So our warranty covers the turf material and also covers workmanship. So you get a 2-year workmanship warranty and a 15-year turf warranty. That's our manufacturer.
I'm going to stop.
I don't know, Mark.
So you can talk.
There was, $30 a square or $30 a foot. And we just showed the numbers here before. The houses were like $259 a square foot to buy. This sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Way less price than the cost of the house.
Yeah, it's an investment, right? I mean, it's like anything you're going to do at your house. So some people, when they get a little sticker shock by some of the pricing, but once you start breaking it down, if you're paying for water and fertilizer and someone to maintain your natural grass, usually by 5-6 years, there's a break-even point there. So it's something to consider and something to obviously sit down and factor that in. But most people, once they see it or once they're on turf, it's a game changer in their backyard.
Keep talking about how it's changed people's lives. I think my wife is listening. So I just want to
well, it'll draw you outside, I will say.
Exercise.
Yep.
Well, Mark, unfortunately, it sounds like Del Webb is a no. But for some place like Horizons, where if you did, I think I would seriously consider this if because I'm always going to have a dog, and part of the benefit of being in a Horizons is not having to cut the grass. I don't want to have to own the lawnmower and the edger and mess with it. And I pay $60 every time I get my grass cut. So I'm sure it ain't 60, but if you're paying somebody else, you're still paying, $40, $50 every time for somebody else to come out and cut the back grass. I think that really probably does put this much more in the realm of it's not an extravagant expense if you look at it that way.
Absolutely. We also offer finance options. So, it can be broken out into some sort of payment system to help people if they don't want to invest all that money up front, which I get. But yes, I mean, you have the maintenance side. If you have irrigation, especially if it's on your house meter, you're paying sewer on top of that. That's just going right into the ground, which typically my water bill, half of it or more than half of it's sewer, right? So it's just something to consider that, if you're spending another, say, $100 on water in the summer months when you're watering every other day, it can add up quickly.
Do you guys cap off those lines like you're capable of handling the irrigation system that would already be run in a backyard?
Yes. Our crews will come in. You obviously have to turn on the irrigation. We'll mark those heads, and we typically cap them. If it's a zone, say, dedicated to your backyard, we typically will either cut the valve out completely and cap it, but also cap the heads, that are in the ground and just bury everything. If your valves are located in the turf area, we'd obviously want to get those outside somewhere. So we can move valves. Our teams are qualified to do that. But we will obviously eliminate, we'd want to eliminate anything underneath the turf area.
Yeah, makes sense.
So,
well,
Brian,
if you all have any questions, throw them up there. And Brian, thanks for jumping on here. I think for the right client here that we have, this is. I mean, we've had some of our people do this, so it's for the right. If you're looking for something in the backyard, I've seen y'all's work. I mean, just go over to the pickle bar. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, so we have work all over, commercial spaces that people can look at if they want to see our work. We're actually doing the new Publix on Daniel Island right now. So we should be wrapping up with their turf this week. It's going to have a nice outdoor seating area. But we work all over upstate, Columbia, south here in Hilton Head, north up to Myrtle Beach. So we've done a lot of areas. So we have also a lot of awesome customers that will allow some of our clients to come into their actual space. So yeah, feel free to reach out. We can show you some of our work.
Does the turf need to be watered due to the sun and heat? Ivan is asking.
Does not. We have a cooling product. I see he has some dogs in those photos. You know, heat is a concern with turf in full sun. We have a product called Green Clay. It's a all organic infill. So we would still put that silica sand, in the turf, and this product would go on top, and it'll basically absorb moisture and release it back through the grass to help cool it. So even in the summer months, this is going to greatly reduce temperature on the turf, and for dogs and kids, it's a great product.
Awesome. If somebody wants a quote, is the website okay to go to, or should they go to you through another means?
No, they can go right on our website, progreen.com. At the very top, you can see it says schedule a consultation. You can go on, do an online schedule. You need to just enter some information. You could also go on in the bottom right, there's a text feature that it will connect you with one of our sales reps that we can directly answer questions with anything you may have, or you can just fill out a form and then someone will reach back out to you. But also on the top up there's our 855 number that rings to our Daniel Island office as well. So please give us a call and we can schedule an appointment that way as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you. And, as always, we also have your number on our website, and then definitely go check out that podcast we did a couple weeks ago because there was a lot of great information in there that maybe we didn't get to here in this last 30 minutes of the live tonight. So go check that out for sure. Jeff, any final words before we end tonight's session here?
Well, if you didn't go check out when I did the live a week or two ago by myself without Mark, again, you do yourself a favor and go check out the last 3 minutes of it. I was left unsupervised and we had a little situation. And if you're up for more of that, come on by next Tuesday because I'm going solo again. Mark will not be here. I am going to have a mortgage person on next week. Actually, Mark's going to be off for the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
So, yeah, God knows what's going to happen. But if I were you, I would tune in to see. Next week, I'm going to have a mortgage guy. So Landon Kale with Lower Mortgage is going to be here. And so he's not our guy that we typically talk to about home equity conversion mortgage. But we can absolutely talk about that next week also. But really every other mortgage product. He does a ton of work with FHA, VA, conventional, super knowledgeable about rate buy downs and grants and first-time buyer programs and USDA. So if you have any mortgage, recast is a big one that we talk about a lot. How do I buy a house here before I've sold my house there? So tune in next Tuesday for all those answers. It should be a good time.
Yep. So at the end here, I'm going to leave this QR code up here. That is, if you want to donate for the Thanksgiving meals, you can click that, and then there'll be a separate QR code on the closing video if you want to book a Zoom call with us and you have questions that you'd like to answer, answered one-on-one. We would love to do that with you. But until next week, I'll see you in 3 weeks, but Jeff will see you next week. See you, everybody. Thanks again,
Thanks, Brian. Had fun with you, buddy.
Thank you, guys.